Why do we care about people overseas? We have poverty right here. La Violeta is this absolutely beautiful mountain community outside the city of Ibarra in Ecuador. It is an indigenous community, so it is very poor, a lot of dirt roads. It's on several acres at the base of a mountain. It's truly gorgeous. There's a dormitory there. There are feeding facilities. There's some general large meeting room space. It's wonderful. It's delightful. It's very green. And what happens is we target first through the churches, in cooperation with the churches in Ibarra and La Violeta, the young people who most need this intervention. So the vast majority of the students are indigenous youth. When we got involved in Ecuador, what was different about this is this was a priority of the Ecuadorian people. It wasn't us just simply choosing a mission, it was the mission choosing us. You see, the people in La Violeta are poor. They suffer a lot of years with drought, flooding, and things like that. And they suffer with being able to provide for their own people. The indigenous people of Ecuador are among the most impoverished in all of Latin America. But what was different is these people wanted more than just a handout. They wanted a handout. But when you educate a child, you give them a ticket out of poverty. Their passion is to get the education so they can bring it back to their community and make a difference for the next generation and the next, and to break this cycle of poverty forever. Compassion and justice are two terms that people often confuse, and many people don't truly understand. I often think about the illustration by Stephen Covey. Stephen Covey talked about a man walking alongside the river where he hears a cry of distress coming from the middle of the river. And he looks and he sees there's a man that's drowning. So the guy jumps into the water, he gets the man, he swims safely to shore, brings him ashore, revives him. And no sooner is he revived than he hears another cry of distress coming from the river. So he repeats that, followed by another cry, followed by another cry. And what Covey says is you can keep jumping in the river all day and saving people who are drowning, or you can go upstream and find out who's pushing all these people in the river and stop them. So compassion is jumping into the river to save drowning people. Justice is going upstream. When we step in and we bring this educational intervention to young people who are graduating from high school and help them qualify so that they can go on to college, what we're doing is we're breaking that cycle. You know, at the end of the year, most churches in the month of December finally get in the black in their budget because it's just a generous time of the year. People are getting Christmas bonuses. There's end of the year stock dividends, all these kinds of things. When we saw this trend happen near Springcreek, we said, hey, let's use this to be a blessing beyond ourselves. And what we did is we took that excess money that comes in the month of December, and it's typically anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000, and let's dedicate it to global mission. This provides for a person on site as well as other assistants to the people that come and man the kitchen to feed the students while they're in session. You know, a lot of times I've been asked over the year, why do we care about people overseas? We have poverty right here. There are people who are needy right here. You know, we need to be helping our neighbors and not these people overseas. And I come back to what Jesus taught us. Jesus was once talking to a man about the very definition of neighbor. And when he illustrates for the man what a neighbor is, he actually uses a man from another country, of a different ethnicity, a totally different person, and he inverts the question, if you will. Not who is my neighbor, but to whom am I a neighbor? You see, when Jesus talks about loving your neighbor as yourself, he blows out the walls of the neighborhood. It's no longer defined by the borders of our city, by the borders of our state, or even the borders of our country. Our neighbor is our brothers and sisters all around the world. And what we have to do as a church is to be sensitive to the opportunities that God is creating for us to make a unique partnership in different places around the world. I mean, there's thousands of worthy causes, and there's all kinds of amazing global mission going on. God didn't call us to do it all, but what he does is through relationship, he orchestrates for us to make unique connections around the world. And through those relationships, we are deeply impacting people who have been forgotten by the rest of the world. We are meant to be a blessing beyond ourselves.